Good evening. I'd like to call our Human Relations Commission meeting to order. Chair requests staff confirmation that Kansas Open Meeting Act required notice has been properly provided.
Yes, it has.
Thank you. And we'll do roll call next.
Chair Kuchel.
Here.
Commissioner Tague-Hurd. Commissioner Newell.
Here.
Commissioner Kressler.
Here.
Commissioner Bonilla.
Here.
Commissioner Rosano.
Here.
Commissioner Zaveski.
Here.
Youth on Board Miller. Youth on Board Smith.
Okay, thank you. Moving on down our agenda, approval of minutes, and that's in your packet. So if you want to take a couple more minutes to look that over, if you haven't, then we'll need a motion to approve the minutes of the Tuesday, October 8th, 2024 regular meeting.
Madam Chair, I move we approve the October 8 minutes as written.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor, just raise your hand. Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, new business. Public hearing items. Looks like there's none.
There are none.
Okay, and then on to administrative items, introduction of new members.
Yes, we want to welcome a couple new members we have. I'll let them kind of introduce themselves, and the rest of us just for courtesy will be filled. So we're expecting new members next time too. Okay. So we want to welcome Commissioner Bonilla and Commissioner Rosano. Okay. But if you guys want to take just a second, just say hello, and we'll go around the room.
Okay, I'm Vicki Bonilla, and I've been living in Salina for about 45 years, and I have been on several commissions, and I'm a retired school social worker.
Okay. Welcome.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
My name is Elijah Rosano. I'm currently studying at Kansas Wesleyan. I am a sophomore, and I've been living in Salina for just 2 years now.
Okay. Well, welcome, and then we'll continue on. And
very good. Anthony Newell, I'm the Saline County Treasurer-elect, and we'll start my term next year.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sherry Kushel, I'm retired social worker.
Christine Kressler, a nurse.
Yay.
And then our staff here today, I'm Michelle Martin, the Community Relations Supervisor, and I have with me
Lillian Morales. I am the second or backup to Marissa, your chair.
I'm Marissa. I'm the clerk for this board. We also have Commissioner Zaveski online as well.
Correct, yes.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Hi.
Yeah.
Welcome.
No worries.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Eleni Zaveski. It's nice to meet you guys.
Awesome. Nice meeting you.
So, welcome, and we'll have a couple. We're anticipating that we should have a couple more by the next meeting. We have a couple vacancies, and from the discussions we've had, should be appointed by the next meeting.
Great.
If all goes well.
Okay. Next under administrative items is to elect a vice chair for 2024-25.
Yes, some of you may remember we had elected a vice chair, and she had to resign for some other obligations. So today before you, we would ask that you consider, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was some information on the staff report that was part of your packet on who's available. We ask that people kind of serve a year before they hold an officer position. In this commission, we have a chair and a vice chair are the two officer positions. So we kind of, to help everyone, we have a little bit of a cheat sheet, and hopefully introductions helped a little bit too. But one of the I would say there was an update that we did recently get that Commissioner Madro is one of the vacancies we have. She had to resign for other obligations right now. So only two, Commissioner Newell and Commissioner Tague-Hurd are left as available for that. So with that, we'd take a motion.
I would move to appoint Anthony Newell for vice chair.
I second.
Okay. Do we need to have further discussion or a vote?
A vote
final
would be
vote? Okay.
official, would make it a vote.
Okay, officially. Okay. The appoint you.
Okay.
All those in favor of Anthony Newell stepping into the vice chair position, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Proud to serve.
Yes. Okay.
That was quick business.
Yes. And then our docket review. is next.
All right. So with that, you should all get, and I'll go over a little more detail tonight just because we have some new individuals here. But what we do is we do them, they're color coded by the types of three types of cases that we can file. The first you'll always find in your docket in blue is employment law. So the employment type cases, discrimination based on employment. We won't go into a lot of detail for a lot of these because they're confidential. So what we do is just kind of keep a record a little bit of and give you the commission a report, but we won't use names. We won't use any sort of detail. It's pretty coded in there because these are all confidential, especially while they're being investigated or anything pending. So with that, we had one case that was an inquiry. It ended up being something that was outside our jurisdiction, so we helped them go to the KHRC and file it with the KHRC. So that's the status of that case. And we just, for your information too, we don't follow a normal year. We follow the year of HUD. So when they start our new year, so we don't go from January through December on our cases, but when the HUD resets our year, we'll reset. So Marissa, help me remember, I think it's October 1st we reset?
No, July 1st.
July 1st we reset, sorry. They have all these different filing dates because on my filing dates to get other things done, it's October 1st. For some other things, so I get confused on that. Marissa helps me remember. But July 1st, we'll reset these dockets. So just so you know, we do the year in review kind of thing, and where the status of all the cases, but it's not a calendar year. So with that, we don't get a lot of employment cases, generally speaking. There's some reasons for that we'll go into in training. But anyway, so that's the status of that. That was out of jurisdiction. We helped them file with the KHRC, or help direct them to the KHRC, which is the Kansas Human Rights Commission. It used to be Human Relations Commission, which is our statewide counterpart. So we're the Salina Human Relations Commission and office, but there's the statewide entity then is the KHRC. So with that, the next you will find housing, and this is where the plethora of our cases come into, and that's mostly we do have an agreement with HUD to be the HUD investigator for the city. So any cases that fall within our jurisdiction or the city of Salina, HUD will refer them to us first. If KHRC gets them, they'll refer them to us first unless we have a conflict or a reason. Back in 2020, there was a time when there was no one in our department for a lot of reasons, and so they referred all of them to HUD at that time, so they didn't go uninvestigated. But we have that agreement. It's called a FAP. If you ever hear us call the FAP agreement, it's a cooperative agreement with HUD. So the plethora of our cases that you will see most of the time will be on this docket in the green. With that, we had one that recently came before the commission. The other thing your primary job will be is we will select 3 random commissioners when a case is ready for probable cause determination, and 3 of you will hear that case. We won't have people do that until they've gone through the training, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a little bit. But those commissioners who have been trained will be subjected, and we'll randomly select them, and there'll be 3, and they will get the case to hear. So recently, since our last meeting, there was a case that came before the commission, and it was a no probable cause finding. We have one that has been pending with the Department of Justice since 2022 it's on hold until the Department of Justice releases it back to us or makes a finding on the case. And then we have one that's currently being investigated that Marissa is the lead investigator on that, and she's working on that complaint. And then we had an inquiry here by phone. It was screened but not filed. The person didn't follow through with that. Then the last type of cases that we'll have are public accommodation cases. There was one recently that was addressed without filing. There's one that's still has been ongoing, and probably before the next time you're here, it will probably be a formal complaint have been filed. I'm hoping that will be enough to motivate the person to comply and resolve it. We usually don't get this will be the first time since I've been here in 3 years that we will move to the next stage. Most every other time when we have an inquiry, we try to work with the business owner. It's typically business owners, and we try to work with them first, and they have always readily worked with us and complied. We have one, though, this time who's not being so cooperative. So it will go, I assume, unless something changes between now and next meeting, we'll have it on file and before you guys.
Okay.
So that is the status of all of our cases. That's about the most detail we go into during the public meeting. And then if you have any questions, I'm always open to answer to the best of my ability without disclosing anything confidential.
Okay. Thank you. And then on to discussion of board training updates for Human Relations Commission.
Yes, and while I was out at the last meeting, they did do the first. We have typically 2 trainings. Most of all of our boards and commissions have at least one training that we do, which is kind of your basic overview on do's and don'ts of being on a public board and that kind of thing. And then we have training to help you understand how to hear a case and what's the relevant law, what our code looks like. So last time while I was gone, they did that basic overview training. And I think we'll probably do a repeat a little bit of that at the next study session. But we will have at the next meeting, right after, we usually do a study session right after these meetings, because generally these meetings aren't as long. But that will probably be our longest meeting of the year, we will have the study session right after that. We do need a quorum for those. Those are not published. They're not public records, so they won't be videotaped, so you can't appear on Zoom for those. We'll need at least a quorum here for that. But we thought with new members possibly starting next month too, we wouldn't try and do it this month. We'd kind of wait till next month. Well, for those of you, we'll probably have a little bit of an overview of that generalized training. And then what we tried last year, or was it 2 years ago, we developed some videos to help with the other training. So what we are going to ask all commissioners to do is do the videos, and then we have a little check test. It's no pass or fail, but then we'll go over that test at that training session. But we're going to try and have everyone do those videos and watch those videos, and Marissa will send out a link before the next meeting and just see if you can watch them. They're not super long, but it makes our meeting much shorter if we don't have to cover, because we used to have to cover all of this during the meeting. And I think there are 4 videos. There are 3 or 4 videos. It's been a while since I've done them. And then we'll just kind of go over those tests, but making sure everyone's watched the videos. We'll kind of discuss the tests, ask questions, do an overview. We'll probably end, just in case people don't want to stay clear till the end if they've already just gone through the general training for boards. The only thing that we need to remind you tonight that we cover during that session is please, when Marissa sends out an email, she'll usually blind copy people. We don't need you to respond all. Please, if you have any questions or anything, we can't risk a violation of the Open Meetings Act so we need you to just reply to us. If you have questions, please don't start conversations with other board members, either a text or email or any of that. That gets us, that runs the risk of violating the Kansas Open Meetings Act. And we'll go over that as part of that training a little more in detail. Some of you who've been on boards may have heard all this before, but we'll still remind everyone of that. And if you have any questions, need anything, that's what the 3 of us are here for. And just don't respond. Don't ever, if for some reason we don't have an email, we try to put everyone's in blind copy so it doesn't run the risk of someone just hitting reply all. But if for some reason, just be very cognizant. Do not do reply all. Just respond to us.
Okay.
So I think that's everything on the training. We'll do like I said, we decided to go ahead and wait since we're expecting 2 more new board members next time. That we thought we'd hold off trying to do it this week. So those of you who asked for an extension on watching the videos, you got an extension for a month. It worked out well on the timing.
Yeah, okay. Look forward to that. Okay, moving on down the agenda. Preliminary discussions items, none. And then unfinished or other business, none. And public forum,
I don't see that we have anyone in
Anyone?
the audience or online besides our
Right.
commissioner, no public.
okay. Then I guess we would just need a motion for adjournment. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 12th, 2024 at 5:30 with the study session following. So I'd need a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Vicki. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned. Good night.